guys, welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be about Instagram. I get a lot of questions here and there about how I edit my pictures and how I maintain some sort of like aesthetic or like visual for my feed. And so I have my very great friend,
hey guys,
Sade here with me. You guys think I have a good feed? I mean, she. Now I'm going to link her IG down below in the description box down below. So she's just gonna kind of offer some insight about how she maintains her feed as well, because we have two different like personalities and two different types of like styles we're going for, but I feel like the overarching theme is us telling a story visually. Right. I love that. I love that. So I think one thing we had to talk before we made this video or whatever, just kind of like, I don't know, it's really good to have like creative friends around you because you kind of like bounce off of each other's ideas and stuff like that. So we had to talk about just how to like maintain or how to keep up with the visual storytelling that we're trying to achieve through like our social media accounts and stuff like that. And so the main idea or the main frame is to like tell a story with whatever experience we're going through or whatever we're doing at the time. So like our most recent experience was like going to New Orleans. Yeah, which was really
We'll link the vlog in the description box.
Yes! Yes! So our most recent experience was the NOLA trip that we did with some of our other friends. And what we did was like, you know, you just capture, you know, pictures in that moment.
It's hard. It's like, you know, people get really caught up on like equipment or like having the flyest camera or whatever. And granted, there are levels to the iPhone game. Yes. There are levels. What? 7 plus.
6S plus. This is better.
Right. Right. The X, I'm sure, on another level, right?
What?
We level up. But at the end of the day, it's really all about your eye and like your ability to just see moments or things that are worth capturing. And just constantly being vigilant and looking for those opportunities. So like when you're traveling and stuff, don't just see everything at surface level, but really take the time to like look at stuff and see the moments that you can capture. I know that's certainly my inspiration, is just like capturing beautiful moments. So yeah, so I feel like that's more so just kind of your strategy before you even get into editing anything or anything. When it goes back to like what Abby said, telling a story, like how are you doing that visually? What are the different nuances of the place that you're in, and how can you capture all of those things in a compelling way? And then moving into the next step of actually structuring everything in a way that you're telling a story. And so now we can talk about the apps that we use to actually structure our pictures.
So then, so after you like what Sade said, like kind of like capture your moments and everything, there are a lot of apps where you can like pre-plan what you want to post. I guess in the description bar, we'll kind of just link the ones that we have used personally. These are not the only ones. I know out for sure that there are like hundreds of them out there, but these are just the ones that we kind of took to just in general.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first editing app we'll talk about is UNUM. It's UNUM, and that's the she actually told me about this one, and I personally like UNUM. I mean Sade will tell you why she likes it, but I personally like UNUM because it uploads your current feed, like your current IG feed, and then allows you to build on top of that, so you can see what you've posted already and then organize based on what you want to post like in the future. And so with that, you can organize, you can hide. So like I know that IG has this feature now where you can archive. So like if you see that something does not fit the style that you're going for, the aesthetic that you're going for, you can archive it, so you don't have to delete it, which I think is a really great feature.
So yeah, I think UNUM is really great. Again, there are lots of different apps. So there's UNUM, there is Preview, and there is Plan. And all of these apps pretty much do similar things as far as like, I think the biggest thing is what Abby mentioned, like being able to see what your feed looks like already, and then adding different pictures, almost like a collage or a mood board, because really your page should be a mood board of your experiences or of who you are and all that kind of stuff. But you can add all of that stuff in there and see what your feed will look like before you actually post it. And so I don't know why that was such a revolutionary thing for me, and I'm sure for you, like, but it just changes everything, because it's like, okay, I can be intentional about what I post instead of just saying like, oh, I like this picture today, so I'm gonna post it. Yeah.
I mean, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But if you're trying to follow the route of like telling a story or like being an influencer or something like that, then this is definitely a really great strategy to help you get to that point. So,
just
and it's
plan things out a little bit.
And it's, I don't know, I think it's fun personally. I really like it.
I love doing it. Honestly, there are some pictures that I don't even really post like that, but I just like forming everything in a collage because it allows me to kind of grasp my experiences in one easy bite. Another great thing about some of these apps, on top of being able to see and structure your content, is also, so some of them have like analytics and stuff as well, which I'm all about analytics and stuff. I work in tech, so it's kind of my thing. But yeah, so you can see, you know, how different pictures have like performed. You can see best times to post. You can see your best hashtags. You can, you know, get a whole bunch of analytics as far as like, you know, if you care about like your subscriber count or like your engagement and stuff like that. So that can actually be pretty enlightening and interesting just to see how your content is performing and how other people are responding to it, which ultimately your content should be about you, and you shouldn't really be concerned about what other people think like that. But to an extent, I think it's also really great to be able to inspire people with your content and with your experiences, and so that's a good way to see how people are engaging.
And I think if you don't really know what your style is quite yet, it's nice to have like a couple people that you like look to for like inspiration, but then you also have to be very careful with that, not to get caught up in like comparing yourself. And I know, because I've fallen victim to this, I feel like we all have in some sense. Because everybody is at different stages in their life. So like the person you're comparing themselves to, like maybe they're at a more advanced level than you are, but that doesn't mean that you can't follow like a similar route, but make it your own, you know. Just make sure that whatever you are portraying or whatever you're trying to lay out in your social media feed, it's you. Like it's like somebody will see your feed like just from a glance and be like, okay, I know this to be this person, you know, and nothing else. Yeah. So that's just the one thing. And I know her phrase is like live authentic.
Right. Yeah, I'm just like
live all the feels. She's like, yes, I vibe with this.
No,
so like really be yourself. Really be yourself with this too.
And like
she's like, can I just rant for
like preach for a second?
Go ahead, girl.
No, seriously though, because it really is such a huge part of like, you know, just my life in general, is like mindfulness and self-awareness and self-care and all that kind of stuff. Really, I feel like everything in your life should just be an extension of who you are, and being in touch with who you are and what you want to exude out into the world. And, you know, really like your Instagram or whatever social media outlet that you have is an extension of you. So do that work internally to figure out, you know, who you are in these experiences, in these spaces, and allow that to carry through, you know, the content that you create. Because if you do that authentically and intentionally, then you'll never be like anybody else.
Exactly. And then like whatever you're trying to achieve, if it's like to gain a little bit of like, you know, like followers or whatever, like it will organically grow. Like you will, like, you know, all these people who will genuinely care and genuinely be inspired by what you're doing. So it's really cool to be who you are. Like, don't change, bro.
Do you?
Yeah, do you, boo?
Right. So step 3.
So now we'll get into the editing techniques. So after you've chosen like, you know, your aesthetic or how you want to approach this, then you pre-plan. And so once you pre-plan, then you can get into the technical aspect, which is the editing. I personally, I wouldn't call myself a professional photographer, but you know, I've picked up photography as a hobby. And so I do it more so for like my blog. I do have a blog that I will also link below. I do it more so for my blog, but you know, if people ask for like graduation pictures or, you know,
she got you, bro.
You know,
she
I got you, whatever. So I know how to work a little bit of Photoshop here and there, but you know, that's on my laptop. But you know, when I'm on my phone, which is a little bit more convenient for like on the go things like IG or whatever, my first go-to was VSCO cam, VSCO cam, right here. First go-to was VSCO cam. They have like, if you don't know what it is, they have like several different presets that you can choose from. I just recently figured out that you could adjust like contrast, orientation. You can like change the aspect of pictures. There's a lot of options. Like if you know about editing or you're like a little savvy with editing, then those techniques will really help. But if you're like on the beginning level, then you can like choose one of the presets and adjust the level of like how preset it is, or like I don't even know
the strength of
yeah.
the
Okay, so like the strength of the filter.
Yeah,
that's a good way to put it. So there's that, and then the second one that I like too, which is Shade's favorite, is Snapseed, and I think that that's personally the closest thing to Photoshop on the go, which is extremely convenient if you know how to work Photoshop and if you're like super savvy with that, and you're a little bit more technical past like just filters, you know, or if there's like a Cheeto on the floor in your picture and you just really need to get that out.
I only say that example because it is a real example.
Real life experience.
Orange Cheeto, gray wall just doesn't work.
It don't work, bro.
It doesn't.
So removing things like people or like the technical stuff, you know, Snapseed is really good for like Photoshop, you know, intermediate expert level.
Right. No, Snapseed is legit. No, Snapseed is really good. I would definitely say it's much more for I guess the advanced editor, if you will, but it's nothing that you can't get used to. But it's not just like purely based on filters. Granted, you can kind of create your own like presets and stuff like that based off of different edits that you've done in the past, but by and large it's, you know, you going in and kind of custom editing different photos. For me, I just like the flexibility. I find editing very therapeutic. So again, I edit a lot of stuff or have a lot of stuff that I don't even post, but I just like doing it. And I mean, you can edit things like Abby said, you can edit people out in pictures because some people like to interrupt your pictures, and it's not your fault that you look great in a picture, but somebody decided to walk into your picture.
Yeah, and it's like when you go to places that are like super touristy, it's annoying when you've captured this moment that's like beautiful, and then there's like a person in the background with like, oh, let me get this.
Right. So for me, what I do is hit that shadow on them, right? Hit that burn right there on them, so that part of the picture is dark. Or if I can use a healing tool to like actually get them out of the picture, I'll do that too. But you can do a lot of different things. I mean, you can change the color of walls. You can remove things from your pictures. You can, you know, for one thing that I like to do, or my kind of aesthetic, I think is, you know, definitely high contrast. So I really like to bring up a lot of the highlights and darken a lot of the shadows. And so I'll do that on like an overall picture level, but then I'll actually go in and like increase like the highlight or decrease the shadows of certain things if I just want to accentuate certain things like my cheekbones or like, you know, I don't know, like something else, or like something like in the background or something like that, you know. I take a lot of pictures also of like plants or like foliage and stuff, and sometimes adding some contrast or like darkening certain shadows and stuff just gives it a little bit more mystery. So you can do all that with Snapseed. So Snapseed is super good, really good to get used to.
Forgot to say about Preview. Preview is similar to UNUM, but it just doesn't upload like your IG feed, like your current IG feed. That's the one thing that I'm just like, but I mean, it still gets the job done. Like if you can like remember what your last 3 pictures were, then you can like create based off that, or you can just upload those last 3 pictures from your current IG feed and then build off that. I mean, you can really like attack it how you want, but I think those are the
here's breaking it down. So for me, UNUM I like the best just because I like the UI of UNUM. Like it's very simple and like clean. I'm a sucker for good UI, user interface. For the beginners or so. But yeah, I like the simplicity of it and how minimal it is. Preview is cool. You know, Preview has really great analytics like hidden in there. You don't even know that they're there, but they're there. They have really good analytics that are actually like a lot of them are free, so that's good. But like she mentioned, you can't upload your previous posts on Instagram, and so you would have to go in and kind of autocorrect it or just I don't know, you'd have to find a workaround there. But great from an analytics perspective, and all of the different grids are unlimited. So with UNUM, that's the drawback, is that they're not unlimited unless you get a premium plan. And so you only get like 16 or so grids or something like that. So for me, I might use Preview to plan a whole bunch of pictures, maybe like 30 or something of them, and then only upload them into UNUM like as I have the bandwidth or the room to be able to do so. And then Plan, which is PLANN, is another, and it's unlimited too, but I think after a certain point in time you can't actually upload to Instagram from Plan or something like that, but it's still a useful tool.
Another thing that I found out this past week was that you can actually edit on UNUM and you can actually edit on preview as well. Those are like really simple, simplistic, like simple things like contrast, maybe cropping, or like, you know, just the little stuff like saturation, highlighting, temperature, all that little stuff. But if you want to get super technical, you might want to go like the Snapseed route.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, if there are any like last minute edits, because I know, like, so for example, for me, sometimes I may look at a picture in my feed and it's like, oh, this is like, it's not, like the contrast isn't high enough for it to match some of the other stuff. So I might bump up the clarity or bump up the contrast or something so that it fits a little bit more. And then it's really helpful because it's already there in the app. So you don't have to like take that one out and then upload a new one, you know, open a whole nother app to edit it or whatever. So it's good for those last minute touches on the go.
So hopefully these tips and tricks work for you. They are not the only ways to do things on Instagram, so don't take them, you know, take them with a grain of salt. But you know, if you are looking for a way to start, it is a good way to start. And I'm pretty sure like by the time you start, you would have figured out some, you know, tips and tricks of your own to kind of jazz things up a little bit. But let us know what you think. Comment below. Thumbs up if you like the video. Share it if you really like the video and you want someone else to learn. Yeah.
In general, if you're trying to be intentional about your IG, I think that these are good tips to follow. So number one, be self-aware. Just kind of figure out like what your overall aesthetic is, what's your vibe, what do you want to exude when, you know, on your page, you know.
Number two, that would be planning.
Right.
So planning out what you want to see or how you want to tell a story, basically, of how you've experienced something or how something has affected your mood or how you were feeling in a certain, you know, period of your life or just whenever, whatever. Basically just planning it out.
Yeah, and just like structuring, you know, your content and trying to see how it's gonna vibe with everything else, what's already on your page. And then number three is digging down into the details of actually editing each and every picture in accordance to, you know, with whatever your aesthetic is. And so yeah, and if you do those three things, I definitely think your IG will be poppin'.
With an A and a W.
Right, poppin'. Poppin'.
You're well on your way to becoming a IG influencer or a visual storyteller.
Yeah. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I am so honored to be on Abby's channel because it's a channel. Because she has an account. Whether she thinks it's legit or not. But yeah, you know, so in the future, maybe we'll do some more creative vids or whatever. Obviously, all of this is a learning process for us too. So we're all evolving together. Again, like she said, if you have any questions, let us know down below and we'll try to answer them. But thanks so much for watching, guys.
Yes, thank you, peeps. And just remember, I will be linking everything in the description box below. And see you guys later.